guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Vibe with Precious. Hi guys, and today hope you guys are feeling good. I have a guest with me,
Vibe with Vandora.
Yeah, so today we're going to be reacting to the throne of Allah. Okay guys, so let's get right.
يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي.
All the praise is for Allah, who is the author of all existence and the most generous to his creation, while he is also the all-compelling. He is the only one worthy of our worship, having no partners, no associates, no sons, no daughters, no one whom he must consult, and no one or anything which has any comparison with him. All the praise is for Allah, who is the King of all who claim sovereignty, the only one who has the right to legislate for his creatures. He is the giver of life. He is the causer of death, while death has no effect upon him, because he is the ever-living, the self-subsisting, the eternal and the only absolute. All the praise is for Allah, who has power over all things, and there is in reality no power and no strength, no influence to cause benefit or detriment except through him. It is he who created this complex world, the seen and the unseen, the evident and the speculative, the earth and all that is on it and everything that is in it. It is he who sent his messengers and prophets, alayhimus salam, with the common message of strict monotheism, which simply means that there's absolutely no one worthy of worship, no one worthy of our obedience except the Almighty, the One, the Absolute, and who has no partners.
The earlier messages which changed the world in the area in which the prophets were sent, those messages we know have changed, and even the prophets who brought them, their names are now lost. We just know in general because Allah told us in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنْ يَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. I've sent to every nation a messenger, calling people to worship Allah alone and to avoid the worship of false gods. This essential message has been preserved in Islam in a way that it was never preserved before. Not because the message was different, because it was the same message, but because of the fact that there would be no other prophets who would come after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So therefore that message now had to be protected. It had to be preserved in a way none of the earlier messages were preserved.
I will tell you this, what you say you have come to know 40 years back, and what you call the Big Bang is already mentioned in the book which I read, the glorious Quran. It's mentioned 1400 years ago in Surah Anbiya, chapter number 21, verse number 30, which says, Avalam yaral lazina kafaru. Do not the unbelievers see? anna samawati wal arda kanat ratkan fataqnahuma, that the heaven and the earth were joined together and we clove them asunder. What you're talking about, the Big Bang,
I try to imagine compressing a spring. I push it closer and closer and closer together so it's smaller and smaller and smaller, and I've stored a tremendous amount of energy in that spring, and when I let it go, it bursts out, it bursts out, it bursts out.
the creation of the universe, which you came to know 40 years back, is already mentioned in this book, the glorious Quran, 1400 years ago. Who could have mentioned that in the Quran? So the atheists will say, maybe someone wrote, maybe it's a fluke, maybe it's a guesswork.
A human being, regardless of who they are, or where they are, or what they do, will have this curiosity. They'll want to know, why am I here? How did I get here? And do I have a purpose? And if so, what is it? The only one who would really be able to answer that question would be the Creator himself. If there is a Creator, it would be up to Him to tell us why we were created and what He expects from us and what this life is really about. Allah has shown the people from the time of Adam until right now, has shown the people what He wants from them. And it's a very simple thing, and that is that worship be for Him alone without any partners. In fact, we know this life to be a test from Almighty God. That's why we're born, and that's why we die. Because there has to be a beginning and an end for us to be tested on. The next life, after this life, no one will ever die again. A bad person or a good person. Both are brought back and they continue to live in the next life, either in good shape or not so good shape, depending on how they did on the test. The worship of the God of Abraham, that was what was taught by these prophets.
The Lord of the Arsh and Kursi. We're talking about the Lord of the worlds. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We're talking about the Lord of the entire universe and beyond. The entire universe and beyond. You know, we live in this dunya and we are fascinated with this dunya which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indeed has created in a beautiful manner. We're fascinated. There are over billions of people which live on this dunya at this moment in time. Over 6 billion people that live on the dunya at this moment in time. This dunya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so big that there is space in this dunya for billions and billions and billions or more people. But what is this dunya in comparison to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created out there? This dunya is insignificant. This dunya is meaningless to Allah. It means nothing. It is worthless. So worthless, compare it with the sun. The sun is one star. You know more science than me. You'll be able to tell me better. Take this planet Earth and you place it inside the sun and you will be able to place 1.3 million Earths in the sun. 1.3 million Earths in the sun. Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest. The sun is one star. One star. There are stars out there which are millions of times bigger than the sun. You tell me this, that you need millions and millions of stars to make one galaxy. And then you tell me this, that there are zillions of galaxies out there. Let me tell you on top of this, my friend, after this, whatever you see above, when you raise your head and you look above, whatever you see above, the zillions and zillions and zillions of galaxies, let me tell you, this is everything there is within the first heaven. Everything there is within the first heaven, and Allah is the creator of 7 heavens. 7 heavens. And the distance between the first heaven and the second heaven is 500 years. You know, the distance that can be covered in 500 years, at what speed? Only Allah knows. Only Allah knows. But it will take 500 years to get from the first heaven to the second heaven. 500 years from the second to the third. third to the fourth, fourth to the fifth, fifth to the sixth, sixth to the seventh. Every time it will take 500 years. After the seven heavens, وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. You all read the Ayatul Kursi. You all know the Ayatul Kursi. After this, you have the Kursi of Allah. You have the chair of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know these seven heavens that we've just talked about. In comparison to the Kursi of Allah, they're non-existent. They're meaningless. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given an example in a hadith just to give us a little bit of understanding with regards to the seven heavens in comparison to the Kursi of Allah. Take a ring from your finger, take it off, the small ring that you have, and place it, let's say, in a desert, the Sahara Desert. It's the biggest desert in the world. You know that ring that we take off from our fingers and place it in the Sahara Desert? What comparison is in between the ring and the Sahara Desert? Nothing. Nothing. The seven heavens is the ring, and the Kursi of Allah is the Sahara Desert. After the Kursi of Allah, you have the Arsh of Allah. وَكَانَ أَرْشُهُ عَلَى الْمَاءِ. You have the Arsh of Allah. Again, Rasulullah has explained, so just so that we can understand. Take the ring, place it in the desert. This time, the ring is the Kursi and the Arsh is the desert. What is the Kursi in comparison to the Arsh of Allah? Nothing. Then you have angels which carry the Arsh of Allah. Their heads are in the seventh heaven and their feet are in the lowest earth. My friends, then you have the Lord of the Arsh and Kursi. لا تدركه الأبصار ويدرك الأبصار وهو اللطيف الخبير. He is beyond the size of Allah, who Allah is, what Allah is. The greatness of Allah is beyond the comprehension of my little mind. This is the being that you and I are messing with.
I feel we are really messing with our creator. The Muslims call him the Allah, we Christians call him God. Like he said, like it's so big. We can't even comprehend. Like you can't. When I mean big, like we can't even imagine. And then he placed some similarities between the 7 heavens and like he gave us an example like the ring, like a person removing a ring is just like how the 7 heavens is to the throne of Allah. Like,
yeah, how smart.
You can imagine like something being that big, like you have to get 500 years to get to one heaven is what is just a ring to the oh my goodness. I really feel that we should all get closer to our God, like,
yeah, exactly.
because that's why he wanted us. He said something like everybody comes up with this curiosity that they want to know who they are, they want to know what they're doing. It's like I always wake up every morning, I'm like, what am I even doing here? What if I just die? Like, what happened? What's going on? Like that feeling that you always get as a human being, always being scared of death. And he said it's only God that has an answer to that question. At times you just need to put yourself together and have a quiet time with God and know what he feel you should do for him that you felt you've not done before you go. And he said in our next life there's not going to be death, there's not going to be waking up. Well, no matter how you are, that's where you're going to be forever. And I must say I've heard a lot of people who give summons like that concerning the next life is going to be just a permanent stay, no death or birth, you understand? So I just feel that we underestimate our God big time and we don't know who he is rather. I'm sure I understand that he wants us to worship him. He doesn't want us to, share another God with him,
exactly.
Different kind of gods coming along to compare him. You understand? So like it's a very, very funny thing that someone who created us and everybody's ignoring that person because we feel that okay, let's just do what we like. I mean, what we want to do, we should just do this. But forgetting the fact that that person can just do like this and then you are gone. You are nothing. You are just going to go back to dust. He has been protecting us, he has been keeping us, he has been helping us. Like everything happening in this world, he knows about it. They say something concerning that scientists will say Bible is a bit of guesswork. Those people, I think they're atheists. Like they don't believe in anything. They said they think it's guesswork. But whereas things in the Bible has, like even the comments, the wars, every other thing about televisions, how the world is going to be before the end time, is in the Bible and it's happening right now. So I don't feel that someone could guess almost everything right. You understand? So like I feel we should just give God his time and we should try to appreciate him for who he is. Yes.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about this video?
I feel the same way, like it's very, very educative. We should just learn to communicate with our God, so with God, so with Allah. Just learn to have private time with him, and he isn't asking for much. He's just asking for that worship and praise. Just
Exactly.
we should just have personal time with God, know why we are created, and don't overuse our chance. Like we should not overuse our chances. Anything can happen. We should always pray and stick to him. It's,
Yes.
the words he said are actually true and it's very, very educative and impacting. Many youths need to see this and understand it.
Understand it exactly. I feel this video should really go viral. Like not the content you're creating on its own, but the video itself should go viral. So everybody will have much understanding of who they are playing with. And I'm a Christian though, but I mean this is a Muslim video and I've learned a lot from it. So I just feel that we could do better by putting out the news and showing that God really exists. Because I feel before rapture comes in, I read a part in the Bible which says that every part of the world must have an idea of who God is.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to claim they don't know who God is or they weren't told about God. You will one way or the other listen or hear about him. You are lucky today to be hearing about him every day. Why some people just hear him maybe like once in a year because of the kind of place they are in or because of the kind of bad let's say civilization they have, because people hardly go to tell them or preach to them. You understand? But you watching this video might be like opportunity to hear about God almost every day, listen about God. You might even be a Christian and you are still backsliding and doing the wrong things. You understand? So that's just it, guys. So
We
I
should
feel
repent before
I
it
know.
becomes too late.
So I feel this is the end of this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one. Love you guys so much.
Yeah, we love you.
Bye.
Bye.